Last week, I made a video about all of the best players that I've used in FM. I picked my favourites out and asked you guys to let me know yours in the comments of the video, and we got tons of comments. So today, we're going to run through some of your favourite players. Now, we've got some great picks in the list, so obviously we'll be highlighting them just to see who you guys chose, but also there'll be some great players here to sign, some of which I hadn't even heard of. So whether you're a big team or a small team, fingers crossed there's a few players in this video that you might get some use out of in your save. But with that being said, let's check out player number 1. And this is why I love making videos like this, because you guys obviously have your own experiences in saves and you'll use players that I won't even know exist, like Oscar Schwartu, who was suggested to us in the comments. He's a Danish 17-year-old attacking midfielder playing for Brøndby in Denmark, and he is a player of real good ability for age 17. He's got some really nicely rounded attributes, and you could see why this could be someone's favourite player, because I'm assuming you're a few years into your save at this point, the person that commented, and he will have developed into a real gem. You can already tell he's got the ability to do so. Based on the fact that I haven't actually heard of him, I doubt he's someone that will go to the very top. If you're a lower level Premier League team or high level Championship, put a scout on him, keep an eye on him, and when that value drops a little bit, he could be worth going for. He's already a regular starter at Brøndby, so will get some football, will develop, and looks already to be a top talent. So you're off to a great start with these picks. So that's the first of 15 players that we will go through in this video, but before we carry on, if you do go on to enjoy this or you get any use out of it, please go ahead and smash that like button for us, and subscribe as well if you haven't already. Ahead of FM25, there will be daily Football Manager content when the game drops, and on top of that, we are closing in on 200k subs, so any support to that target would be amazing. And the final thing is, if you want to see more FM stuff, you can find my personal channel linked in the description of this video. But watch all of these 15 picks first and then come and check that out. But let's get on to player number 2, and that's Ipswich's left back Leif Davis, who appeared in a few comments actually, not just one from that previous video. He's a 23-year-old defender who obviously did really well for Ipswich in real life and helped them get promoted, and as such, even though they obviously do start in the Championship when you play FM24, he is a player that was boosted in the winter update, in the January update, whatever you want to call it. But either way, he got a boost based on his performances for Ipswich, and you can see he is a top level left back. Could play really high up. I know the 2.5-star rating doesn't look amazing, but he's being compared to players at my club, Chelsea, which is obviously a higher caliber of player than most teams are going to have. So realistically, this is a solid mid-table Premier League left back already, and he's only 23. He can develop, he's great going forward, good defensively too, works hard. You can't really ask for too much more from a player at age 23, valued at 15 million in the English divisions. He is an unreal player, and I've had him in a few of my own rebuilds, and he's done really well for me. Now, unlike the last player, this guy was only mentioned once in the comments of the last video. This is Zaidas, a Portuguese 25-year-old from MRT. Now, he is someone that I believe has been commented tons of times, and we have looked at him a few times. It might even be the same guy commenting throughout the year about Zaidas, but either way, you can see why there would be some interest in him, because for £1 million here, age 25, you're picking up a very talented player who could easily play high-level Championship, low-level Premier League right from the off, and he is at a club that obviously aren't going to ask for too much. Maritimo Madeira, they're called, but known as MRT in game. But either way, small fee, great player, and I can definitely see why this would end up being someone's favourite in FM24. One of the most well-known names on this list, though, is someone that I didn't actually want to include in this video because he is quite an obvious pick, but he came up so many times that I've had to put him in. This is Simeon Pafundi. If you somehow don't know him, try and sign him, whatever you can do. He's an Italian attacking midfielder with great potential, but really good starting ability too. He starts off at Lucerne out in Switzerland, but is on loan from Udinese, so usually after the first season he'll go back to Udinese and you can try and get yourself a bargain. If you're paying anywhere under 20 mil for this guy, he is going to be worth it. He's a real top talent with a lot of potential, and I've seen him at full growth. I've done a full video about this guy at full growth. He is insanely good, so if you haven't checked out Pafundi, make sure you do so. Someone nowhere near as well known, though, is a player that I actually think, based on the suggestions given, might be one of the best when it comes to a bargain that's also going to do really well and is good value for money. This is Rafiu Diro-Sinmi. Now, this is why I love doing these videos, because I don't even know who this guy is. I've never heard of him, even in Football Manager, but he's a 20-year-old forward who is a regular starter for Victoria Plzeň, a team out in the Czech Republic, whose name I've probably butchered there. But either way, he's a Nigerian forward with 15 finishing, including 17 long throws, which is already enough to make me want to sign him. A striker with 17 long throws, 14 long shots, good free kicks, dribbling and heading ability, but physically he's 6'4", he's quick, he's strong, and he's good in the air. He's got some good mental attributes as well. You might look at those star ratings and assume he's not going to be able to play at a top level. I think he could, and for 5 million quid, you won't get many better than this at this price point. I can't believe I've never came across him, but if you've got a few million to spend, if you're in the, say, low level of the English Premier League, using England as the example, try and bring this guy in, and he will score goals for sure. This year in the FM match engine, pace, strength, heading ability, anything like that really does help a player, so to have all three, it's going to bode well for this guy. A real good pick from you lot. And that's why I love making these videos, because we can highlight some real gems that we wouldn't have found otherwise. But a player that I think has been highlighted enough times on this channel, but again, much like Pafundi was mentioned so often in the comments, I had to put him in, is Patrick Berg. I'm not going to talk about him too much, but Bodo Glimt, 3 or 4 million quid. An international for Norway, 25 years of age, with great ability and a really good personality as well. You won't find many better for this price, and there's a reason the likes of West Ham and AC Milan are interested. If you want him, get him quick and he will do the job for you. Chris Riggs up next, and this is a player that we covered in his own individual video right near the start of this Football Manager, because he is a young 16-year-old at Sunderland that you can go ahead and offer a contract to straight away without paying a fee. Now, he doesn't want to join us here. That happens a lot when you try and just give a straight contract offer to a young player. They might not see it as the right way to progress their career, but if he does stay at Sunderland, keep an eye on him and you will get yourself a bargain. He's got huge potential, great ability as well. As you can see, Arsenal, Liverpool and Man City all supposedly want him in this save, which shows how good he is, and I believe in real life he is doing really well too, and has made it into a part of Sunderland's first team already. So come FM25, he might be one of the best bargain Wonderkids around. I say bargain, Sunderland are probably going to charge a pretty penny for him if he keeps continuing the way that he's going, but Chris Rigg was mentioned by you guys as a great option, and I can definitely see that. Obviously you guys are going to lean more towards Wonderkids because that tends to be what a lot of us will sign when we play Football Manager, but I do also like when we get the older picks too. And I say older picks, 26 is not old at all in football terms, but in Football Manager, it's probably the maximum age you'll buy someone unless it's a free transfer. At least that's how I end up playing when I'm not in the lower divisions. I'm always looking for those young talents to develop, but this is someone that could kind of forgo that. A goalkeeper who's 26, who is playing in the Portuguese divisions for Farenense. You'd assume he hasn't really got the ability to be a top-level keeper. You would assume wrong, because this is one of the best bargains around. Luis Felipe, 1 million. I'm really glad we did get a goalkeeper suggested to us, because a lot of people obviously are going to favour their strikers or their attacking midfielders. So to see someone suggest Luis Felipe in the comments was awesome. He is an unreal talent in goal for that price. Is he really going to be Real Madrid or Man City quality? Quite clearly not, but if you are looking for a goalkeeper and you don't have too much money to spend, this guy could be the one. Moritz Kjærgaard is a player that will pretty much always leave Salzburg for a major club in world football in your saves if you don't act quick enough, and there's a reason why. He's got great ability straight away, huge potential, and a lot of you guys were suggesting him. In fact, out of anyone, I'd probably say he was the most commented name that I've seen, especially in multiple videos. He's always mentioned in video comments here on the FMSCOUT channel, and I think he is a great player. Now, sometimes I do get put off by him a little bit because I'm thinking, as a striker, he's only got 9 finishing and he's not quite natural there. As an attacking midfielder, he's not the best creator, but you don't really need to worry too much because he has got such good physical ability that will make the match engine seemingly forget about his finishing, because he does score a ton of goals. You can train him as a striker quite easily, but as a shadow striker in that attacking midfield spot, he will get in there, he'll create chaos, running late into the box and scoring goals. Kjærgaard is a brilliant young player with a lot of potential too, and for 15-20 million, I think he's worth the money. I believe this guy has moved to Bournemouth now, but Dean Huijsen of Roma on loan from Juventus is a very good centre-back in FM for a few reasons. Firstly, obviously the main thing, he's young, he's got good ability in all the attributes that you'd want, and he's also pretty good when it comes to progressing the ball too for a young defender with a pretty cheap valuation, and he's probably going to go pretty far. But when you combine that with the fact that he is 6'5", he has got good jumping reach and he can score a header, it makes him deadly in the in-game engine. The person that suggested him, said that he scored more goals than his strikers in most seasons because he's that powerful. Now, he is someone that I haven't used personally myself, but I am very much aware of him and how good he is. So I think this is another great pick. And if you're after a centre-back in your save, if he's done with his loan at Roma, then check him out. Of course, Canuzin was suggested by you guys in the comments as well. This is another name that always crops up, and I am one that definitely backs this. This is one of my favourite players in FM24, 6 or 7 million from Nürnberg, a team in the Bundesliga 2, who you can sign and at age 17 will walk in to most clubs in world football, and he's only going to get better. So unless you're a major team, you can give him first team football straight away and you will see him blossom in no time. He's pretty much in every save is good enough to play right at the very top, Real Madrid kind of levels, and for that price, that ability, he's a must buy for me if you've got the money, and he will never let you down. So again, another great pick from you lot, and I think we've got 5 to go now. Not 5, we've actually got 4, and our 4th last player is going to be Max Morstedt, who is Hoffenheim's 17-year-old forward, a German that's available for 3 or 4 million quid. He's someone, again, that has a lot of potential, and when someone says, that's my favourite player, they're probably talking about him a few years down the line when they've used him, but right from the off, he is a very good forward, someone that I haven't really focused on maybe at all on the channel, come to think of it. I'm not sure we've ever looked at him, but he's someone who physically, again, is very dominant. 6'4", a decent bit of strength and pace, but he is very good in the air. He's got good heading ability as well, can pass, decent vision, technique, dribbling, finishing and first touch are pretty good as well. Give it a few years and he'll look like a completely different player, but he's going to need game time to get there. But if you can give him the chance, he will do unreal things, I'm sure, based on the way that he looks. And in our final 3 players, we actually have 2 defenders to look at, and it's always good when we get one of those suggested because, like I say, everyone tends to favour the strikers, and as someone that played left back myself when I used to play Sunday League, sometimes you're a bit underappreciated. But Lucas Yetten, the 16-year-old, is a very good talent from Ajax who was suggested to us. Now, I haven't actually used him myself, but I can see here the potential, the promise that this guy has. Being an Ajax Wonderkid, you've already got a very good chance of going to the top. In this save, I mean, I won't spoil it for every save what his range is, but in this save, he's got 164 potential. So 16-year-old Lucas Yetten could go right to the stars, really, in that left-back spot and be one of the best in the position in world football at full growth. So he is someone that will need that development. A lot of the time with these players that say Ajax, he won't really make it into the first team in the in-game world. I'm sure in real life, there's a progress plan for all these youngsters, but in game, no, it doesn't tend to be that way. He might end up getting released if he doesn't get an opportunity. So keep an eye on him, try and develop him whilst he is at these early ages, especially once he reaches 18. Try and give him that game time, and before you know it, you could have a top left back on your hands. Inter Milan's Jan-Orel Bisek is another one that was suggested, kind of like the Inhuition of Roma, for the fact that he can score so many goals from set pieces. He's got 17 jumping reach, 16 strength and 14 heading. Combine that with the fact that he's quick and he's also great defensively and can play with the ball at his feet, and you have got the promise here for one of the best young centre-backs in world football, and there's a reason Inter are already charging 30 mil for him. And now we're on to our final player, so if you have enjoyed the video, please smash that like button for me and keep the suggestions coming in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of these guys, but our final pick is going to be Ivan Azon. I say our final pick, your final pick. Azon was recommended a few times in the comments, and once again, there's a reason why I think a lot of you guys are having these people be your favourite players, because look at those physical attributes in the match engine this year. That will get you goals, and when someone scores a lot of goals, he's going to be one of your favourites. But for 3 million from Zaragoza, you are picking up a very good talent here in the second tier of Spanish football. Yes, his technicals might lack a little bit, but you can forgive it. They'll get better. And when you see the physicals that good, he is a real gem of a buy. If you picked him up for a low-level Premier League team, high-level Championship side, you would get real returns. And I've actually had him in my own saves where I've ended up selling him for upwards of 90 million. So he's definitely worth that investment. A great player. And that completes our list. So thank you for all your suggestions and for all your support on the FM24 content as we do start to roll into FM25 soon. Keep your eyes on the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.